Gray tree frog. Another North American frog species is the gray tree frog, found all over the United States from as far north as Maine, as far south as Florida, and as far west as Texas. They're very popular and yield important ecological aid since their diet involves consuming and eradicating pestful insects. There are two gray tree frog variants, Dryophytes versicolor and Dryophytes chrysocelis. The population of this species may be widespread, but it should still be protected. Therefore, when purchasing them, for about $8 to $20, keepers should do so only from breeders, not acquire them from the wild. Compared to a lot of other frogs on this list, the gray tree frog has significantly more warts. However, they can live happily in a 10 to 20 gallon tank that is tall so that they can climb and jump to their heart's content within its confines. These little guys only grow to about 1 1/4 to 2 inches and live for about 7 to 9 years in captivity. Bumblebee walking toad. Small freshwater ponds and meadows are where you can find the bumblebee walking toad. It's often mistaken for the oriental fire-bellied toad, and it's distinguished by a total lack of green hue on its body. Additionally, they live in parts of Argentina and Paraguay, rather than anywhere on the Asian continent. Their bumblebee moniker is due to their yellow and black legs and back. Overall, this species is one of the best toads for training in husbandry. They are very small, never growing more than 1.5 inches in length, and are happy living in a 5-gallon tank. They're also okay living with other members of their species, which they can do in a 10-gallon one. With great care, they can live for over a decade. They can be purchased for $60 to $90. American toad. American toads can be found all throughout North America, with most of their time spent in moist woodland regions and nearby ponds. This toad is recognizable for its small legs and thick brown skin that is covered with warts. When under stress, their skin frequently becomes brown, green, or yellow. Despite not being as colorful as some others, they make excellent pets, hardy enough to live between 15 and 20 years. The one thing to keep in mind with this toad is that they shouldn't be handled unless completely necessary, as doing so is harmful to both the toad and the keeper. The bufotoxin that these toads are bearing can harm human eyes, while oils from human hands are damaging to the toad's skin. American toads will require a 10-gallon tank with 50% humidity and room-level temperatures to live comfortably. They only grow to about 3 inches and can be purchased for as little as $10. Green and black dart frog. The next frog on this list is a member of the poison dart family. The green and black dart frog are a terrestrial species found in Central and South American rainforests. Typically, these little frogs are green and black in hue, but their coloring isn't for beauty, but rather an issue of a warning to predators about their venomous glands. Sometimes their name discourages beginners from wanting to take them in as a pet, but ironically, they actually make for a great choice for a novice's first frog. These small frogs are as lively as they are entertaining to observe. They often jump around and hunt for food, specifically for ants, their favorite snack. As long as a beginner is aware of the hazards associated with caring for a green and black dart frog, they can be taken care of with relative ease. They only grow to about 1.5 inches in length, have a lifespan of about a decade in captivity, and can be purchased for $40 to $80. African dwarf frog. Southern Africa's ponds and streams are home to the African dwarf frog. They're primarily water-based creatures that will migrate to dry surfaces only when compelled or forced to do so. They are an ideal pet frog for someone who wishes to keep both frogs and fish. As they are largely water-based, coming up to the surface strictly to take a breath, garnering their nickname of dwarf underwater. They are excellent swimmers and do well in a 5-gallon tank with lots of water. Because of their webbed feet and claws, they're also referred to as African clawed frogs. They are very resilient creatures that can survive in captivity for up to 20 years. They're very simple to care for, grow to a length of between 2.5 to 4 inches, and are very inexpensive. Prospective owners can get one for just $4. Bumblebee dart frog. Sometimes known as the yellow-banded dart frog, the bumblebee dart frog resides in a variety of environments across South America, particularly places with ample supplies of pinhead crickets and fruit flies, their favorite meal. These unusual creatures are embellished with black and yellow blotches. They're appealing to a beginner due to their vivid coloring hue. Unlike the bumblebee toad mentioned earlier, this species is a poison dart frog. They require basic husbandry as long as they're not handled much, certainly simpler than their green and black cousins. Bumblebee darts thrive in a 10-gallon tank with temperatures between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit and strong humidity. If you don't keep the humidity level above 90%, it will be hard to maintain their optimal health. The bumblebee dart frog only grows to about 1.5 inches. They can live for as long as a decade and be acquired for $45 to $80. Burmese chubby frog. The Burmese chubby is a large Asian frog and is occasionally referred to as an Asian painted bullfrog. Their plump look makes them appealing to novice owners who are looking to have a cute pet. They don't require a lot of room either, so they can live comfortably in a 10-gallon aquarium, not requiring much room. This is the pet for you if you want one that's easy to care for overall, making the Burmese chubby a great starter pet. A well-attended to Burmese chubby could live up to a decade, growing only 2 to 3 inches in length. It quickly adapts to new surroundings and can be acquired for a beginner-friendly price between $10 and $35. African bullfrog. One of the most unique amphibians in the world is the African bullfrog, which is often found fascinating for its distinctive behaviors and size. One of its most unique mannerisms is that it spends the majority of the year underground. Also known as pixie frogs, largely due to their scientific name Pixycephalus adspersus, they are bigger than many other frogs, with males growing up to as long as 10 inches, the larger of the two genders. Their size presents one of the only challenging aspects of keeping an African bullfrog, as it required nothing smaller than a 20-gallon tank. Outside of that, the species is docile and will even tolerate occasional handling. When cared for accordingly, the bullfrog can survive for as long as 35 years, so taking care of one is a long-term commitment. They can be purchased in the $25 to $75 price range. Not only do frogs and toads make great pets, but they also yield their keepers a terrific way to care for an animal. You should do your homework on the best species for your lifestyle before purchasing one, of course. Frogs come in more than 3,000 varieties, each with a unique temperament and set of husbandry requirements. And as we've explained, some will be particularly suitable for novice owners, while others not as ideal as starter pets. The decision ultimately comes down to the type of frog or toad you're interested in.